Buck, 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 buck.
Welcome. I was just chilling to this chilling music that Holden picked out almost a year ago while reading all the comments that you guys are delightfully displaying. That's right. I gotta mute this so I don't confuse myself. So, hello everyone. Alex Rules 237 here, I guess. I am here doing some boat. I have a lot to discuss before we actually start, obviously. First of all, no, I am not in the office. I am in my upstairs room, mostly because my computer has been up here, and I'm too lazy to bring it back downstairs. You go watch a mumbo jumbo. But yes, I am in my room. I hope that does not affect audio. I have been up here for a little bit, and I did do a live stream already, and it seemed to be okay. I do need to fix the latency between my mic and my camera. Maybe not. Hold on, I'm sorry. I think I need to... Oh, whoops. I keep forgetting this. Why isn't my mic now not working? Oh, it is. I think I'm just going to turn it up to 40. And I should do it anyway. Tell me if you don't like that, because I really don't care. I'm doing this without Holden. So, for those who don't know, and yes, we have not done boat in a while. That's not because we gave up on it. Holden unfortunately had to go away a couple months ago. In fact, the last time I actually heard from him was... That's not May. June the 9th. So, that whole exact message. I'm here this Wednesday and then gone until August 14th, Wednesday, lol. Well, today's August 14th and he's not here yet. I wish I could show you. Actually, I can. but I don't want to disrupt the privacy of all the people I have direct messages with. Um, I've been messaging him so many things over the last 2 months, just as a joke, really. But he was supposed to be back. I told him, we were supposed to do boat today, but he's still not here. I don't know if he meant today was his last day. I don't think so. I just read the message, but you know, whatever. So I'm gonna do it alone. Alex, my volume is up all the way. That's great. Thanks for informing me. So this isn't going to be a very long boat, mostly because it's only half a boat. We're sinking pretty fast. We're sinking faster. Mostly because I only have 4 articles, which is we each pick 4, and there is no halftime. However, I will, read all of your messages and whatnot. And also, since I'm doing this, I'm streaming this myself. Holden is the one who usually streams, so the quality might be a little worse. I have set up a little. And I think Holden should start doing that, but it's a little hard to get both ours. Um, let's see here. Let's see. Also, I kind of cheaped out on the title a little bit. Because when I made the title about half an hour ago, I didn't have any articles. I just picked out a bunch right now, or 20 minutes ago. But these are all good articles. I like them. Except one of them is a little crappy. I really don't care about, but it's still news nonetheless. Now, I haven't discussed this with Holden because I haven't discussed anything with him in the last 2 months. But we're going to change Boat Tech News up a little bit. We're going to make it a little more interesting to the audience. I know, isn't that a shocker? But we're going to change it. Instead of just strict tech news, it's also going to be more news in general. Not like a man was shot, or nothing like that. But more like news about AS Productions, like upcoming events and whatnot. So, there is no Fork 2, but let's say we'll preview a trailer of the Fork 2 and then discuss it a little bit. There is no Fork 2, don't worry about it. But why did I pause this? I need to have it muted. But it's just gonna be stuff like that. He is not informed of that, but no one cares about him. He died of stage 9 gay. No, actually, it was stage 7. Sorry, must have been miscommunication. Another thing which probably none of you really noticed. This is episode 20 of Boat. I don't know why Holden did this, but he, on the last boat we did, which is on Holden's channel, he put 18, even though the one that we did before that was 18. I have the even numbers, he has the odd numbers, because he's an odd duck. We might have to change that, because if we ever get to episode 237, it has to be on my channel. So that might change up a little bit. And whether or not it comes, if we're going to try to make up all the missed boats, because before he left we had 2 missed boats, so we want to make that up. I have to discuss that with him. I don't know how well that's going to work. But basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we missed 5, so we have 7 boats. We're 7 boats behind. So whether or not we're gonna fix that, I don't know, but we might. Yay, 20 years. Could be. We're thinking about making it every single week instead of every 2 weeks. It's just not enough, because that's twice a month, and it's only once on per channel. So we might do it every week. We might change that. Again, these are all ideas in my pathetic little head, so we'll have to run it by Holden, see what he has to say. But anyway, we're going to start. If there's any problems with the audio, I'm not good with streaming my audio at all. Please tell me so I can fix it. I'm going to be reading the chat a lot. But here we're going to start with, you know what? I'm going to start with Blender. So let me fix this up. new input. Default. Blue snowball. Add. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. I guess I didn't add my mic to the desktop capture here. Okay, well, I'll say that all over again. Isn't that great? Also, I looked at the chat a little bit. I can't look at the chat because if I do, then it just shows it on my desktop. See? And thanks for calling me a moroni. Okay. So Blender 2.8. Many of you do not care about Blender. I really don't care about Blender. But after a video I watched, which I'm going to show on Boat, not really, but just view it. And after reading this article, I might want to get into Blender a lot more. I don't know what I want to do. I don't have any interest in animating or modeling or any of that, but I might want to start getting into it. But the thing with Blender is that it's always been free. It's always been more of a hobbyist kind of tool. And it's very difficult to learn and understand, and it's difficult to work with for people who are just starting out or people who are pros. It really has been, and again, it's a free tool, and it's really, really powerful for being free. But usually when they made updates, it was really small updates. It was more something like, okay, we've added this feature which does something minor to lighting, or hey, the render times are a little faster. But this is basically what they did, was they remade Blender from the ground up. And I'm going to talk about it because it's worth talking about. It really is. So first of all, as I kind of mentioned, the usability. I'm going to read the article and then I'll talk about it. Actually, I'll read each section. I'll talk about it on my own brain. There are a lot of small updates in Blender oriented around usability. There is a new and elegant menu system that lowers the need for hotkeys, and now left click by default is the select button like in every other application ever. The tools now have task-based workspaces to make them easier to use and more efficient, and at long last a proper confirmation dialine exit. So first of all, with Blender, pretty much forever, the mouse configuration has been reversed. You would right click to select items and use them, and then you would right click to bring up a dialog box tool or whatever you call them. It was like the exact opposite, and it took me forever to figure that out on my own, first of all. But first of all, you could have switched it if you wanted to, I believe, and you can switch it back if you like the way you've been using Blender for the last decade and a half. But this is a really good feature. Very small, but it's really good. Usability, let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much that. Real time. So I'm going to read this and I'll explain to you what it means. Eevee has gotten a lot of attention, but it's about to get quite a bit more. Now, in addition to being a fully integrated real-time viewport renderer, it also has full support for cycle shaders. That allows animators to use Eevee for a look development, switching to cycles for production rendering and getting consistent results. The viewports have also gotten a major overhaul to make them cleaner and more understandable. There's now depth queuing in wireframe mode and visual indications of overlapping geometry so that it's easier to see. The viewport options include a wide variety of shading types, including a flat mode that shows object silhouettes clearly. There's even a mode that gives every object in the scene a unique color, as well as a new X-ray mode. The look development mode is also new. It essentially turns on the Eevee render to display shaders, materials, and lighting in real time, and includes both built-in HDRI images to provide lighting. So first, let me translate what half of this says, and then I'll just talk about it, or I'll do both at the same time. So wireframe mode I've never gotten into because it was useless for me, and B, it's just very difficult to understand what was going on in your viewport. Your viewport is where you animate or you model and pretty much everything. That's where everyone spends most of their time. It was the lines would overlap. There was no depth of field or depth perception at all. It was really terrible, basically. So they've really, what am I trying to say? They improved a lot on the wireframing in general. In fact, if all they did was work on the wireframing and just added that specifically, to the new Blender update, then that would still be a game changer. That's how bad wireframe mode really was back then. And the viewport options include a wide variety of shading types, including flat and show object silhouettes clearly. So you with Blender, when you're in the viewport, you don't want to be reloading every single thing, because what's the point of having your shadows or ambient lighting or whatever when all you're doing is doing a model or an animation? You don't need to see any of that crap, and it really slows your computer down. Now it does, it has all of those options, and it barely really touches your memory or your graphics card. It's really easy to understand, and it's really fast in your computer. So that's also a really good improvement. Third of all, it's going pro. Now, before I read this, I'm going to talk about it. Blender has been a 100% free program forever. And they do ask for donations, of course, but if they've never... You never needed to spend money to get it. You could literally go to the site, download it, and you can have it in 30 seconds. Not 30 seconds, but you know what I mean. So it's always going to be free, but Blender has never really been a program where professional studios or professional enthusiasts can really use, especially when it comes to feature films and whatever, because of the way of how difficult it was. But now that's a lot easier. Many people are going to start using Blender because it's free. And it's really powerful. It really is. But now they have a pro version, which takes the new version. Well, it takes the good parts of the new version, takes the good parts of the bad version, combines it, and then duplicates it by 237%. Except it just costs money now. How much money? I don't know. But anyway, we're going to read this. As more studios and professional animators have been eyeing Blender, they've also been asking for features that would enable them to work Blender into their production pipelines. One major limitation has been Blender's color space options. So there's now a Blender filmic color space specifically designed for professional use. Via Collections, Blender now has a full-fledged laser system, and it goes so far as enable posing multiple rigs at once to help streamline edits for larger and more complex scenes. I have seen that before. Cloth dynamics have gone an upgrade, showing more realism, and there's a new pop-up menu called Quick Favorites that animators can populate with their most used tools. Tangent Animation, who produced the animated film Next Gen for Netflix, used Blender, developed the Crypto Matte node. Oh boy. Enabling Blender to import and export industry standard crypto mates. Whatever, I don't care. So I never really seen Next Gen. I never watched it, but I have heard of it, and I have seen that they all did it in Blender. So where was it? It was, oh yeah, enabling posing multiple rigs at once. So let's take a look at this screenshot. This is from, I think this is from the Next Gen, or maybe something else. So this is a battle sort of movie. So let's say there was a sword fight going on with Minecraft or whatever. Minecraft is beautiful. Basically, all the time you had to animate it, so you could only do one rig at a time. So you could only do like a hand bone or an arm bone or whatever.